All right, what's up, guys? Back with another Coinbase update. So since the last Coinbase update, Coinbase stock has rallied from $170 per share to $220 per share. So congratulations to anyone who bought Coinbase shares, Alibaba shares, or SoFi shares, because both those two stocks were included in the last video's TLDR. So in this video, I just want to go over the quick summary of the Wycoff accumulation schematic we identified back in August of 2023. Obviously, when we first created this channel, we identified that Coinbase stock was forming an LPS. When Coinbase stock finally broke above the Wycoff resistance level, that was our first initial sign of strength before rallying along with Bitcoin. Now, anytime price action shoots above the Wycoff accumulation schematic, we should be looking for upwards continuation. Now, let's talk about Fibonacci for a second. Anytime you see a bullish impulse and you see a three-wave correction, you should always anticipate more upside is coming. So going back to 2023, early 2023, we can see that the bottom of this three-wave correction ended up happening at the purple 1-to-1 trend-based Fib extension at around $50 per share. So two common levels for the end of a three-wave correction are the 1-to-1 extension and the 1-to-1.618 extension. So let's actually repeat this exercise with the most recent correction. We identified a three-wave correction, and taking a trend-based Fib extension, we can see that this time, this correction was a bit steeper that bottomed at the 1-to-1.618 purple trend-based Fib extension. And we can see that both corrections do have some more similarities, more than just bottoming at important Fibonacci levels. We can see that the correction back in January of 2023, this was a 47% correction. We can see that the correction we had earlier this year was a 47% correction as well. We can also see that the duration of this correction was very similar as well. This was a 126-day correction back in early 2023, and in early 2024, this was a 162-day correction. So that's about it from a Wycoff perspective. Just a quick recap. Anytime price action breaks above an accumulative structure, you should always look for a three-wave correction to continue the bullish momentum. Okay, so in the last video, we did map out bull market target projections for Coinbase stock that span between $567.53 to $820.69. Go watch the last video to see how I calculated those price targets. Now, with this week's most recent 25% rally, Coinbase shares are approaching very significant Fibonacci levels that did give us trouble earlier in the year, specifically the 1.618 to 1.786 trend-based Fib extensions that span between $242.45 to $287.85. Now, obviously, in the last video, we did talk about the Bitcoin hash ribbons. We did talk about the Bitcoin risk metric. We did talk about the logarithmic regression bands. We did talk about how Bitcoin is pretty much primed for a rally to above new all-time highs. And obviously, with Coinbase stock's positive correlation to Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does find a way to rally to new all-time highs over the next few weeks, because of Coinbase stock's positive correlation to Bitcoin, Coinbase shares, in my opinion, should have no problem clearing the final hurdle, which is $287.85. Once that level gets cleared, Coinbase stock should be well on track to reaching all-time highs, and finally, our bull market target projections northwards of $500 per share. Okay, so just a quick recap on Fibonacci rings. Obviously, Fibonacci rings don't dictate the direction of a stock. They just only indicate that volatility is on the horizon. So statistically speaking, Coinbase stock has crossed 6 of these Fibonacci rings, and 5 of them have led to significant pumps. The only time where Coinbase stock actually crashed to new bear market lows as a result of crossing a Fibonacci ring was back in November of 2022. I believe this was the FTX collapse, when Coinbase stock actually crashed 42% down to new bear market lows. The rest of the time, so on this ring cross, Coinbase stock pumped 146%. On this ring cross, Coinbase stock pumped over 100%. On this ring cross, Coinbase pumped almost 100%. This pump wasn't actually that big, actually. This was only 31%. And so far, after crossing this ring cross, Coinbase stock has pumped up nearly 30% so far. Now, obviously, because of Coinbase stock's positive correlation to Bitcoin, if you watch the last Coinbase stock episode where we talked about the Bitcoin risk metric, we talked about the logarithmic regression bands, we talked about the Bitcoin hash ribbon buy signals on the weekly time frame. Obviously, we thought that everything is gearing up for a significant pump in Bitcoin. And like I said, because of Coinbase stock's positive correlation to the price of Bitcoin, obviously if Bitcoin surges to new all-time highs, we obviously expect Coinbase stock to also surge to new all-time highs. And this Fibonacci ring could be the Fibonacci ring that actually sends Coinbase stock to new all-time highs. Like I said, bull market target projection for Bitcoin is at $175,000 per coin, and for Coinbase stock, northwards of over $500 per share. Okay, so let's close things off by taking a look at the Coinbase against Bitcoin valuation. Now, something dramatic has happened since the last upload. So what has actually happened to this chart, just from a pure glance? Well, we can identify a local bottom here back in February of 2024. So what did market makers actually do here, right? They dropped the price below the white line, right? This was the previous pivot. But instead of it being a very significant bearish correction to the downside, market makers actually created a bull-shaped structure. So if you've been following this channel for a while, you will know that bull-shaped structures are accumulative in nature and dome-shaped structures are distributive in nature. So the fact that market makers slightly took out the previous pivot and started an accumulative structure says to me that this chart is gearing up for a upwards reversal. Now, the last time we saw a significant pump in the Coinbase against Bitcoin valuation was late 2023. And as soon as we rallied into the red Fibonacci retracement resistance area, if you guys remember, we stayed in here for less than a week and then immediately got slammed back down to the downside. So Bitcoin valuation charts are very tricky. I'm not going to pretend to be a guru that knows everything. However, I do play the probabilities, and I do believe the probabilities on this chart have shifted to the upside since I last made a Coinbase video. So I do believe we are going to get another retest of the red Fibonacci retracement resistance area. What I can't tell you is how far up we're going to go on this chart. Obviously, the higher we go, the more Coinbase stock will outperform Bitcoin. But as I stated in the last video, this chart doesn't need to break out to the upside. All this chart needs to do is to just trade sideways like it's been doing for the past 2-3 years. All this chart needs to do is trade sideways. If this chart continues to trade sideways, that means that Coinbase stock will perform in line with Bitcoin. Obviously, if this chart breaks out to the upside, that's great. That just simply means Coinbase stock will outperform Bitcoin. And we obviously all want that to happen. So in the next video, hopefully, we should be seeing some upwards continuation into this chart. And hopefully this time we'll spend more than a week inside the red Fibonacci retracement resistance area. So that's all I got for this video in this update. I will try to post more frequently. We'll see how that goes. But I do hope you guys enjoy this update, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.